I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because there's been a load of really good comedians. I think the closest I got to anything up here was Blackadder when they shot at Alnwick Castle, which was supposedly set in the north of England. But no, you've had that in deck of trying to get stuff going again and redoing the Likely Lads. But there's been nothing original or new which has been done like that for, God, yeah, 32 years. So hopefully this will be the next chapter in North East comedy. I've known Jason for X amount of years, and he rang us up when we were doing the Salford sitcom showcase, said that carefully, and said, look, we've got a part, would you come down and do it? And it was, Big Keith was a smaller part originally, and did that, as I said, which is quite a plain words. He said, I was playing a smaller part, and he said, could you come down and do this? So we went down, did it, went really well, and the parts just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's more Big Keith, and you'll see in the next couple of episodes, he has his own little separate storyline. Every character you see on screen out in the main 8 to 10 of us, everybody has their own storyline which follows through. I was working with my friends, and I've done acting in the past, but when you're working with like Gina McKay, who's Olivier Award winning, and Vic Reeves, Jim Moyer, I was like, I'm working with Jim Moyer, I'm working with Vic Reeves. Which was just weird. One of the first scenes we did was with Jim, and we're sitting there going, there was me, Ramsey, Chris Ramsey, real Chris Ramsey, and Jason. And that's been the hardest part, is not calling Ramsey and Jason, because he's always been Ramsey. But it was really good fun, and we were 3 really good friends, and we kind of all 3 of us kind of thought like going, yeah, today's the day we're going to get found out that we're actually comics and we're not really actors. So touch wood, we got away with it so far. Do you know when you're sitting there going, well, years ago, and I told him this, I told Jim when we were working there, I'd been a stand-up comic and I'd been playing around doing it, and I had that copy of the NME when he did Big Night Out, where he's in the white suit, and he was on the front cover of the NME, and that was like, and I said to him, that was like my copy of Sniffing Glue, you know, here's your free codes, go do a punk band. It was him going, well, I've had no formal training, I've nothing, and I'm a stand-up comedian, and I do comedy, and that for me was like going, wow, right, okay. And we were talking about that, and he goes, oh, I think I've got a copy of that. I was going, yeah, that was for me, that was the moment. I thought, right, I'm going to be a stand-up comic, that's what I'm going to do. So it was really, really weird. But it was great to go out on the piss with him, because he's a bloody good laugh. Do you know what, the hardest thing to do with him is keeping a straight face. Is keeping a straight face, because you'll have you laughing and crying in this show, it goes the whole gamut. To be honest, if Gina McKay and Jim don't get at least a BAFTA nomination off the back of this, I'll be amazed. I will honestly be amazed. I'm not just saying that lightly, I really will be amazed. But he with a couple of scenes we were shooting, he's just doing this bit where he kept just touching Ramsey in different points on his face. Just every time he came out to do a take, he did it differently. And it was just, we would just end up cracking up. I think it's hopefully it's going to nestle in there very nicely. You've had some really good shows, which you get flat out sitcoms, like your Citizen Cons and your Sunday night comedies, your nice comfortable comedies, and then you have some of the more different ones, which are some of them are quite free with a baby cow stable, where they actually you associate with the characters and feel nice about it, like Gavin and Stacey, Royal Family, Moon Boy, which is on Sky at the moment. And you know, you've got a load of really nice comedy on Sky at the moment, like Trolley and things like that. But the BBC are pushing new comedy out as well. Even Channel 4 are starting to do it. And Channel 4 is obviously, it seems a little bit more extreme, some of the stuff they're doing. But this is a show you can sit down with your grandma and watch. And you can sit down with maybe your if you've got teenage kids, you can sit down and watch with them. It's not really offensive. It's something you can be accessible and you can all sit down and watch together. Hopefully much the same way like almost the Royal Family did. And if it gets that kind of audience where everybody can sit down and watch it together and you can enjoy it together, then hopefully, you know, we'll get a second series and I can pay off the mortgage. Unfortunately, most people's perception of what Newcastle is if you're over 50, it's when the boat comes in. If you're 40, it's probably off Readers in Pet. And after that, possibly Geordie Shore. So really, it can only do great for the Geordie Shore lot. I'll actually class off Readers in Pet as a bit of a northern comedy, because of the 3 main characters being Geordies or sand dancers, and one of them even nearly been a Mackem. So it was one of them where we've got the northern flavour, but obviously it's got the other characters from our own region. But I think what you'll find is people will associate with the family. Everybody's got a family like that. Everybody knows characters. Even Big Keith, people know people like Big Keith. Probably not as extreme as Big Keith in some cases. If you do know them, then I feel sorry for you. I really do. I really feel sorry for you. Well, you're wondering if you're going to get the Geordie backlash because you've got Sarah, you've got Chris Ramsey, Ross Noble, obviously, who's been there for quite a few years beforehand. Jason's come along. I'm going to hopefully be jumping on people's coattails and riding in on the back of Hebburn. Come on! So I don't know. It's how long people are like that. There's a load of other really great comedians. You've got Carl Hutchinson, who's from the northeast as well, and there's some new guys coming through like Andy Fury and Lee Kyle, who are really great comedians that are starting to get good names for themselves. So there's a load of Geordie comics, and it got to that point years ago where Manchester was the place where all the comics were, and basically what a lot of it was a lot of Geordie comics like Barry Dodds, Jason Cook, John Cooper, who moved down there. And it's now people are moving down to Manchester. We're kind of staying up here, so it's nice. Hopefully gigs will come to us instead of having to drive all over to do them. Beer into wine, feeling fine. Wine into beer, feeling queer. And he just looked at us and I went, "That was you." He was it? Yeah. Okay.